Have you ever prayed in the dark and felt absolutely nothing come back? Have you ever watched the people closest to you disappear, one by one, and started to wonder if God was the one moving them? If you have been there, you need to hear this. Because what felt like punishment was actually preparation. In a quiet Midwest town, there lived a man named Elias. Elias was 36, worked early shifts at a warehouse, and came home every single evening before dinner without exception. He watched his wife Clara laugh at their 5-year-old son Noah's bad jokes, and he laughed too every time, not because they were funny, but because watching the two of them was the best part of every day he had. He never once told Clara that. He thought she already knew. That was the first thing he regretted. Clara kept a small green notebook on the kitchen windowsill, wedged between a pot of herbs and a glass of old pens. On the very last page, she had written 3 sentences in her careful handwriting. Some seasons feel like God has gone completely silent. Those are the seasons he is listening most closely. Do not mistake his silence for his absence. Elias had read it once, smiled, and never opened that page again. He assumed Clara was the one who needed those words. He was completely certain that he was not. He had no idea the notebook would one day be the only thing holding him upright. On a Tuesday in February, Elias's phone buzzed in his pocket during a team meeting. He ignored it. It buzzed again. When it rang the 3rd time, his hands were already cold before he answered. A driver had run a red light 2 blocks from Noah's school. Clara had been in the intersection. Noah survived with a broken arm. Clara did not reach the hospital. Elias arrived still in his work jacket. He held his son. He signed every form placed in front of him without reading a single word. Then he sat alone in a bathroom with his back against the cold wall for 11 minutes and did not make one sound, because he was afraid that if he started, he would never stop. 8 months later, the apartment was quiet in a way that had no bottom to it. Friends had stopped coming. Work continued. Lunches got packed. Laundry got folded. Elias did everything that needed to be done, and none of it meant anything at all. One night, the green notebook fell from the windowsill and landed open on the kitchen floor. He picked it up and saw the back page for the first time since Clara had written those 3 sentences. He sat down right where he was standing. He held the notebook in both hands. The refrigerator hummed. A bus moved past on the wet street outside. "Elias, where are you in all of this?" No answer came. But he did not put the notebook away, and that was the most important thing he did that entire year. His neighbor Arthur was 72 and had lived alone next door for 11 years. One morning before dawn, Elias found him outside in the cold with a cup of coffee, and Arthur looked up without any greeting and said, "Arthur, you look like a man losing an argument with someone who stopped talking." That evening, Elias knocked on his door. Arthur listened to everything without asking one question. Then he said the only test worth taking was simple: find one place where someone needed Elias more than Elias needed to be thanked, and show up there every week for 30 days without expecting a single thing in return. Arthur, trade that pride of yours. The kind that wants pain to stay private. But the real pressure begins when you discover that the place is the last one you ever would have chosen. The children's home was 3 miles from the warehouse. Elias went the first Saturday because Arthur told him to, and for no better reason than that. He saw her immediately. A girl in a yellow shirt, sitting alone at the far edge of the yard, as far from every other child as she could get, staring at the front gate with a stillness that looked practiced. Her name was Maya, 6 years old. both parents gone 8 months before. She had not spoken to anyone outside the building in 6 weeks. Elias walked across and sat down beside her without a word. He looked in the same direction she was looking. After a long time, Maya glanced at him and slid 2 inches closer without making a sound. He came back the next Saturday, and every Saturday after that, but the cost had not shown up yet. A coworker told him he needed to stop building his life around someone else's grief and get back to something normal. It sounded reasonable. Elias took 2 weekends off and told himself it was rest. By the 3rd weekend, the gray was back. The apartment had gone quiet again in the wrong way. Then Noah walked out of his room and placed a drawing on the kitchen table. A girl in a yellow shirt, sitting alone by a gate. One word written underneath in large, careful letters, Maida. Elias picked up Clara's notebook. He read the 3 sentences. He put on his jacket and drove. Elias, I am sorry I was gone. Maya looked at him. Maya, you came back. 2 words. But they reached somewhere nothing else had reached in almost a year. The change arrived the way winter mornings do, so gradually that you cannot point to the exact moment the dark became light. Elias learned that Maya wore yellow every single day because it had been her mother's favorite color. He learned she was terrified of thunder, but would sit through any storm if someone stayed beside her. He found out she had never owned a dog, though she spoke about them with a quiet longing that made clear she had thought about it for a long time. One afternoon, a hard storm came in off the lake. Maya froze. Elias sat down on the floor beside her and said the only true thing he knew, it is just noise. It cannot come in here. She leaned against his arm and they sat like that until the last thunder passed. Slowly, the apartment started feeling like a home again. Noah stopped drawing empty rooms. Elias started sleeping through the night. The year after Clara died, he sat in his car outside the courthouse, read those 3 sentences one final time, and went inside to finish the paperwork. When it was done, Maya came home. That first evening, she reached across the dinner table and placed Clara's small green notebook in the center between all 3 of them, as if she had always known it belonged to everyone. Loneliness is not where God leaves you. It is where He builds you. He removes the noise so you can finally hear what is real. He clears the space so the right thing can find its way in. If you are in a quiet season right now, let it finish what it came to do. Because some lessons arrive softly, but they change you forever.